thousands actually swarm air terminal in front of August 31st cutoff time for exit. Departures being directed at more balanced pace, NATO plunge. US says it would require days to eliminate troops alone from air terminal. Acknowledgement of Taliban would have significant outcomes. Heads of the Group of 7 nations were set to examine on Tuesday whether to look for an augmentation to an August 31st cutoff time for the departure of thousands of individuals attempting to escape Afghanistan, and regardless of whether to perceive or endorse a Taliban government. G7 to comply with on Afghan time constraint, clearing put on war balance. Boundless bedlam interspersed by irregular brutality has grasped Kabul's air terminal since the Taliban assumed control over the Afghan capital on August 15, with Western and Afghan powers driving back swarms frantic to escape. Clearings were being led on a war balance as unfamiliar powers attempt to meet the August 31st cutoff time. A large number of Afghans have gotten back to their homes subsequent to discovering that circumstance is moderately quiet in territories the nation over, said the negotiator, who asked not to be recognized, while advised that meager insight and security reports were rolling in from far-off locale. U.S. President Joe Biden, who has said U.S. troops may remain past the cutoff time, has cautioned the departure would have been hard and excruciating and much could in any case turn out badly. Popularity-based U.S. agent Adam Schiff, administrator of the House of Representatives Intelligence Committee, told correspondents after an instructions on Afghanistan by Insight authorities that he didn't really accept that the clearing could be finished in the 8 excess days. "I believe it's conceivable, yet I believe it's far-fetched given the quantity of Americans who actually should be emptied," Schiff said. A Taliban official said unfamiliar powers had not looked for an augmentation and it would not be allowed in the event that they had. Washington said dealings were proceeding. Does it still hurt? Indeed. Numerous Afghans dread backlashes and a revisitation of an unforgiving adaptation of Islamic law that the Taliban upheld while in power from 1996 to 2001, and there have been disconnected, yet various episodes posted via online media that have fanned those feelings of trepidation. Australia cleared in excess of 50 female Afghan Paralympians, competitors and their wards in the wake of getting visas for them, the Australian Broadcasting Corp wrote about Tuesday. Heads of the United States, Britain, Italy, France, Germany, Canada, and Japan who meet essentially later on Tuesday might utilize the chance of bound-together authority acknowledgement, or restored approvals to push the Taliban to follow vows to regard ladies' privileges and global relations. The G7 pioneers will consent to arrange on if, or when to perceive the Taliban, said one European ambassador. Furthermore, they will resolve to keep on working intently together. Heads of the Taliban, who have tried to show www.reuters.com web link for present moderate face they take control Afghanistan 2021-08-15 a more moderate face since catching Kabul, have started chats on framing an administration, while their powers center around the last pockets of resistance. Acknowledgement of a Taliban drove Afghan government by different nations would have significant outcomes, including permitting the Taliban admittance to the unfamiliar guide that past Afghan governments have relied on. A 2020 arrangement endorsed by the previous Trump organization unequivocally expresses that the gathering isn't perceived by the United States as a state. Biden will confront pressure from different pioneers to broaden the August 31st cutoff time for departures. France has said additional time was required, and German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said on Monday the G7 expected to think about whether to stay past that date. Biden has confronted inescapable analysis over the withdrawal, which was started by his Republican archetype, Donald Trump, and his assessment of public sentiment evaluations have slipped.